You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey everyone, welcome in. I am Beardy Rich.
And I am Desmond, aka Black Beardy.
Or Baby Beardy.
Or Baby Beardy.
You are watching us on The Experience. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. Be sure to follow the Geek Chat on Facebook and the Comic Book Beardies as well. And then head to comicshoppingexperience.com and join the mailing list to find out everything that's going to be on The Experience. We have a full show for you today. We got a lot to talk about.
We definitely do. A lot of stuff has been going on. We missed you last week. Reason being is because Rich and I went to see The Marvels.
Yes, we did.
And so we're going to be talking about that, in our first section, which is our TV and movies kind of roundup. So, Rich.
Yes.
Marvels.
Marvels.
What'd you think?
So I noticed that we went and saw it on Thursday.
Yep.
So Friday was the official release date, and then Saturday and Sunday, all I noticed in my Facebook and Instagram or Facebook and Twitter feeds is all the negative press. Oh, it failed expectations. It only made 42. Oh, the world is ending. Oh my God.
You go woke, you go broke, and blah, 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 and all those other nice catchphrases people like to use.
So on the Geek Chat, one thing I think that Des and I have always tried to do is be honest about our opinions. Sometimes we go a little too far, sometimes not enough, Desmond. But I will say I can be a fan of something and critique it. I find that a lot of the things I read about this movie were, like you said, go woke, go broke. Oh, 3 women, it's not going to fly, da-da-da-da. I thought it was a very fun movie. Hey, Paul. I thought it was a fun movie. I really did. I had fun. There was some great fight scenes, a little heart. But I can honestly say the plot was very thin. It was a regular generic Marvel villain who dies at the end, Marvel formula movies. And it was a fun movie though. Like, I can say that. But it had its problems. What'd you think?
I would echo those as well, and I will keep my rant to a minimum because I do have certain thoughts about this movie. I thought this movie was a solid C+. The reason being is that movie should have been 2 movies.
Yeah, for the Annihilator part.
Yep, and I'll tell you why. Exactly. The Annihilator part should have been its own movie. And I think that Carol's about face wasn't earned because we didn't see that happening. All we're seeing is the main villainess and her feelings about it and her interpretation of what happened. Mm-hmm. We never got to see Carol's emotions and what happened, because that's obviously what led to Carol being much more softer in this movie. You're made to assume that as the viewer while you're watching the movie. If this movie had been 2 movies and we actually were back in time and we saw the beginning of of, the Annihilator and Carol going to Hala and Carol reaping destruction and doing all this stuff, I think that would have been a lot more, and really getting more into the Kree mythology and why they fell apart, why the civil
Right.
wars. And I
Right.
understand that if you're a comic book reader, you understand the importance of the supreme intelligence. You understand that it is like the governing body of Kree society, and when you take that away from them in fighting and stuff like that. But for the average viewer, they might not understand what that meant
Right.
and how it impacted the Kree culture so much. So having that be possibly the first part of the second movie, and then we fast forward a little bit afterwards. So you make like the first hour, about Carol fighting the Kree and then making her way. Good evening, Lyle.
Hey,
Welcome
Lyle.
in. And good evening, Paul. Her, fighting the Kree and her getting her revenge.
Right.
And then we have a time to breathe with her dealing with the aftermath.
Right.
And then they bring the team together, at the end of the first movie, and then the at the end of the second movie, and then the third movie. Hi, Kenneth. Welcome in.
Hey, Kenneth.
The third movie is where we get the resolution. So that way we get to see the growth of the villain. We get to see, more of Kamala coming to grips with the fact that Carol Danvers is not this super perfect woman. We got a little bit of that in the movie, but not a lot. We could get a little bit more of why Carol didn't want to come back to see the US, because she was so distraught about what happened in Hala.
Yeah, and it made that emotional between her and Monica. It was very forced at times.
Well, because we didn't know. We didn't know what happened until much later. And then the whole thing, and then revealing the third act, leaving it to the third act, about why she's doing this. It's just like, okay, this seems like a generic bad guy. But if they'd let the bad guy breathe, it would have been a lot better.
Well, I want to say the man behind the curtain here. Do you think the pandemic smushed Captain Marvel and the Marvels into one? I don't think they actually had a plan, like Des pointed out, of showing us this. I think they thought the backstory, the flashback scenes were going to be enough to tell the story, because sadly, the last couple of Marvel films hasn't been the most character driven. It's been more comedic driven, multiverse driven. I think earlier films really laid out the plans. Like Winter Soldier was a standalone movie on its own, not really relating to other things, but yet drove the Marvel narrative forward.
Yeah. It added more layers.
Yeah, and I think that Phase 4 was a throw everything at the wall and find out what sticks. And I unfortunately think this being the first Phase 5. Is this the first Phase 5?
I'm not sure. I think it might be.
I think that they did not plan on this. I think they were riding high off the Ms. Marvel TV show. And we had the Monica situation from WandaVision many years ago. And I think they just played connect the dots. And the dots, they skipped a couple dots. Remember those number dots? And you'd be like, gotta go 1, 2, 3. I think they went like 1, 2, 7, 19.
32.
I don't think they. Oh, Quantumania was the first Phase 5. Well.
It shows, because Phase 5 has been really, really weak. And I honestly believe the main problem is Marvel has spread themselves too thin, and they do not know what the right hand is doing.
Nope.
And it's funny. So there's this internet, channel that I watch called Dorkly, and they did this thing where it was, what's wrong with the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a nutshell, and it was just Ant-Man, answering questions in front of the press, and people kept needling him about what happened at the end of the Eternals. And then there's the fact that there's a giant out, and like no one has said anything about that since.
Nope.
Yet there's this giant creature coming out.
It in She-Hulk. A
little bit.
iPad.
Yeah.
In the corner.
and it's like there's other stuff happening, and it just really seems like the Marvel movies have become the Marvel comics, and I'm not necessarily think that that's a good thing or a bad thing. So, and I'm just like, I really think that we should get 2 movies a year and one series, or maybe 2 series, and that's it. And
And
you
I'm going to
space them out like
disagree.
that.
I want something each quarter. I want 2
No.
TV shows and 2 movies and spread them out.
That's what I mean. You get 2 TV shows and 2 movies,
Yeah,
and
I
you
would like
separate
that.
it out. Yeah, and just separate them out. And I think that's that would work so much better.
But
And
look,
and
they
and
said
their
Secret
marketing,
Invasion, and they ignored it. They ignored Secret Invasion.
they did. They did, which I don't understand why they did that, which is crazy. So I don't know. There's just so much stuff going on, and it's such a race to get content out that's why you have these kind of lapses in quality.
Right.
That's really what's happening. And
So we've got Ironheart, which is fully filmed and has been taken off the slate. We've got now a movie, Armor Wars, that who knows when that's coming. Wonder Man, which I don't see a reason for at all, is now.
Thought that'd just be kind of fun, I guess.
I don't know. I don't. Marvel, in my opinion, needs to pare down its thoughts of going forward, because next year we're only getting 1 film, and it's not a MCU movie. It's just Deadpool.
Just which is technically considered now an MCU film.
But that's it. So we have everything pushed a year. So we were talking earlier before the show started about Marvel's trajectory and how we really feel it did peak for Endgame. But I still don't agree with superhero fatigue. I don't. I think we're sick of subpar, really bad movies. I think that's really what it boils down to. We're sick of these churned out ideas that aren't well thought out. That's my opinion.
But I think that adds to the fatigue as well, because True. I think you're willing to sit through stuff, but if you if the track record has been crappy, then you're kind of like,
been.
And then I guess the new thing is they're going to release Echo all at once. That way,
dropping it all at once.
And they're like, there you go, binge it. And then the What If series, which I'm super excited for, by the way, is going to be one a day. And I'm just kind of like, okay, so you're doing these different strategies in order to see how people are going to engage with your content, with your content. But damn, that's a lot. And I really hope that they allow Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool 3 to make fun of all of this crap. I really hope that they allow him to make fun of it. And I really hope that they allow him to fix some of the mistakes with the whole time thing and him going to different branch timelines and all that stuff like that, and all of the different cameos and whatnot. I really hope that works. And with the ending of the Marvels setting up Young Avengers, though I think it should not be called Young Avengers, it should be Champions. And the reason why it should be Champions is because Kate Bishop is like 23, and by the time everything is done,
she's gonna be in her 30s.
They ain't gonna be that young.
No, that's the thing.
They ain't gonna be that young.
So I actually wish they had never included that stinger, because we have seen so many things in these Marvel movies. Harry Styles was Arrows. That's never going to happen. We've seen so many of these little teases.
Yeah,
but when she said she's 23, I'm like, okay, you already have till 2027, 2028, everything lined up, right? So she's going to be in her 30s, and they're going to call it Young Avengers. No, I think it was a mistake. They should have left it out. I can't read without my glasses. So what did Lyle say?
So
that's
Lyle
what
says,
we need, a great Canadian actor to clean the Marvel mess.
Yeah. I mean, Rick Moranis is acting again, so maybe he can help out.
Yes. Honey, I Shrunk the Marvels.
Honey, I Shrunk the Marvels. And
So
then so we got so we got Kamala Khan, who they are super pushing, by the way,
yeah,
in Marvel continuity. So in Marvel the MCU. So it makes me think that they're going to either super super fast light or green light Miss Marvel 2 to hopefully set up for the X-Men or do whatever they're going to do with the X-Men. I think that's what they're going to do with that. Also, did you notice that in the second Stinger with Beast and Binary, which I thought was really cool, though that suit was kind of crazy, and I didn't notice this, but she was wearing both of her the bands.
I
I
know.
didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. I was watching another reviewer and they brought that up. So what I thought was cool was that is the Fox. That is the Fox version of the universe that she's in. So I think she is in the Fox universe.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to get a completely new MCU X-Men.
Wow.
You know, I think that's what's going to happen. And I think hopefully that's going to be something that, you know, Deadpool 3 might play with, you know, going to and from the Fox universe to the MCU universe and back and forth. I think that's what they're going to do, because in my opinion, you don't spend all that money on CGI for Beast and Kelsey Grammer just to have him show up for a Stinger.
Right.
So I think that he's going to be back and there's going to be some weird shenanigans that are going to be happening. So that's what I think anyway. You know,
well,
devil's advocate.
I was hoping that because in the comics, Kamala is now a mutant, and in the TV show she was a mutant. It would be nice if they hark back to, you know, Kitty. The team was formed when Kitty, and then we had Jubilee, and now it would be really nice as Kamala. But that isn't the way they're going, as seen by the post-scene credit.
Yeah.
Rick Moranis is Dr. Doom.
They're calling it now? You're calling it? I mean,
No,
hey, I would put money. I know. I'm just thinking about that. I'm like,
so,
okay.
You know, the huge thing came out about Pedro Pascal being Reed Richards. I think he could be Doom. If they're gonna do anything, put him as Doom. Don't make him Reed.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd follow that one.
So I just want to say the breakout star of the Marvels was definitely Kamala Khan. She was the heart of the film. She really did, I want to say, save the scene she was in. It was that youthfulness. And because she's a fan, I think it was part acting, part she was just really excited
to be there,
be in a Marvel movie.
Yeah. I'm getting very authentic, like, yeah, I'm happy to be here kind of stuff from her.
Yeah. And Monica got the science-y shaft of the whole thing.
But she was good too. I thought she was good too. I know you particularly could not stand the Musical Planet.
Oh my God. So
I thought they did enough. I thought they did just enough of the Musical Planet before they turned it off.
Nope.
I thought they did just enough.
Nope.
Without going overboard.
Nope. So I gave the film a B-, but that singing part dropped it to a C. So for me, it was a solid C. I hate musicals, people.
You're horrible.
Hate musicals. And as soon as they started singing, Des turns to me and says, "Paul's in heaven," and I said, "Rich is in hell," because I hated it.
Well, at least you know, the king was bilingual, so that was good.
Yes, that was always cute.
He could speak regular, you know. So, but I know another show that you did not like, or another Marvel product you did not like, and that was Loki.
God, Loki. Yes. So Loki ended. And I think I am in the extreme minority. I saw zero reason for the show.
Whoa!
Zero reason for the show to be set. It was, I mean, we saw the same scenes like 3-4 times.
Rich.
I hated this.
You're killing me.
I think I would rather watch Moon Knight again than watch any Loki ever again. Season 1 had some fun episodes, but it was torture. It was torture for me to watch week after week. That's all. That's my little synopsis.
Well, why?
I found much like I would rather watch Secret Invasion.
What?
Yeah,
But
I would
everyone is
rather
saying,
be forced to watch Secret Invasion than Loki. I would. I just did not
But
care for it. Didn't care for it. Didn't like the. I just felt it was useless. What did the man behind the counter say?
uh,
3 girlfriends, Ms. Marvel the sweet one, Photon the smart one, and that makes Carol the one not needed in the movie.
I thought Kara was good. I thought Kara was good. I thought that
She was.
I thought that she was definitely better in this version. You know, I thought this version of her was better. I do think that final reveal of her costume was muted compared to all the other ones, and
It was an odd choice.
guess, you know, I don't know. I don't know why they painted her in such a unflattering light, and I know that Brie Larson is part of that, you know, but at the same time, she doesn't need to be so stoic, and I'm glad that she allowed herself, or they allowed the character
to have a little fun.
Yeah, to have a little fun. Like the scene that they were, you know, changing and trying to practice, I thought that was fantastic. You know, so I don't know. I really hope that the next movie we get, because we will get another movie, that's just going to happen. We will be getting another Captain Marvel movie. I don't think that they'll leave it out there to rot like that. I think we definitely. No, I think we'll get one before then, because if the stuff that happened with Monica is not resolved in the Deadpool movie, they're gonna have to bring it back unless they resolve it in a TV series, which would be a complete and utter downgrade if they do that. Right. Yeah. And I'd be like, wow, I'd really be sad if they did that. Like, really sad. Like, wow, you guys really suck. Like,
so the last show that ended, I'm really sad about, is the Doom Patrol. Made it 5 seasons, and I feel like the Doom Patrol's ending was a very bittersweet ending to this. I loved the show. It was quirky. It took all the weirdness out of all the different Doom Patrols, put them in a little shaker, and shook it out. And I loved it. It was a very sad ending. It made you laugh. It made you cry. It made you laugh. It made you cry. It was really good. And I am very happy that as much as Titans and Doom Patrol weren't the shows I would have made, I'm glad they were both made, because they both ended, well, Titans ended on this weird, like, kumbaya, let's all go our separate ways. But Doom Patrol just ended. Like, they're dead. Like, I loved it. They're dead.
Well, do you think they'll get a movie?
No, they're dead. They're literally dead.
This is comics.
No, I know. But I don't think Gunn will use them right away, because we just had them. And I don't think we're going to get Doom Patrol, at least in the first, I give it maybe 5 years. I think he's got his eyes on other properties.
Well, he likes, Gunn does like the crazier, second tier, weirder character. So maybe they will be reintroduced into the Gunverse as a different version than the one that we've seen. I think that's why I think, because Gunn likes those weird sidekick crazy movies, so that are crazy characters. So that's why I think Doom Patrol could be the MCU's
DC.
The DC's version of Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I think he's got his eyes on other weird properties for that.
Why? Who? Like, I think
Creature Commandos is the first one,
but that's a cartoon, though.
But
no, I'm talking about a movie franchise, and I think that people will want to see something weird and unusual because it's different. It's different than the norm for what we're getting. Yeah. Because one of the criticisms that Marvel gets is that they play it too safe, and everything is so samey, same. So that's why I'm thinking, a Doom Patrol movie might just be, kooky and strange enough to be interesting. That's why I'm hopeful. That is why I'm hopeful for that one.
I doubt it.
So the last thing we're going to talk about before we go to break is the new trailer for Madam Web.
Oh my God. Oh, now it's 4 women led. Boy, that's going to get a lot of crap on the internet.
So yeah, it's Madam Web, it's Arachna, and I don't know who the two other women are.
So Jessica is Julia Carpenter.
Yeah, that's Madam
Spider-Woman
Web
in the Black.
Yeah.
No, Madam Web is Madam Web. They're two different characters.
I thought, but in the comics, she's one character now.
No, Cassandra is. Remember the 90s
Spider-Man
with the old
I get
lady?
it. Yeah, the old lady.
Madam Web is.
She died. She died in the current continuity. Right. She died, and
but this is Sonyverse.
Oh,
and in it, she's a younger version who discovers her powers and is linked to these three women. So they changed Maddie. I remember reading Maddie.
Yeah,
Maddie Franklin. She is now the black girl in it with the big hair and the legs that came out of her back.
I thought that was Arachna.
Nope. She
the Puerto Rican girl, the Hispanic girl.
She is the. If you're watching the trailers, the one that doesn't get a lot of talk time, that's Aranya.
Okay.
And then Julia is the redhead, and Madam Web is Dakota someone. I don't know their names.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
And Ezekiel is chasing them down, and Ezekiel is like one of the spider totems or something like that.
So I would have preferred this movie to be part of the Spider-Verse animated series, because those characters really do belong in the Spider-Man universe. You need to have,
though they are in Sony's Spider-Man universe.
Yes, we're getting a pregnant Mary Parker, and Uncle Ben is young, and this takes place, I think, 20 years before. I'm just, they
gotta say Spider-Man. They gotta say Spider-Man.
They gotta save Spider-Man.
All I know is some of that, her face, and that one where she's upside down and she has the weird cutouts on her mask. It does not look good. Like, it does not look good. I was very.
The weird thing was the headpiece that came out like to here, and then her hair.
Yeah,
it was like a drag queen that didn't.
She had she had all this like hair and like no lace front or anything, and I'm just like. And I get it, because that's kind of how she looks in the comics,
right.
with the hair coming out on back. But then they finally did it right, and they gave her one of the cuts right here, which gave her so her hair could flow out, and it made her look so much better. I do not like that costume on her. That costume is crazy.
Well,
so I don't know. I mean, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it.
But I do want to say Ezekiel's costume is kind of cool with the webbing, but it's not webbing. It's these weird red strands along the black, and the eyes are very reminiscent of Spider-Man. I was okay with that.
You're kind of here for it?
For the costume, yeah. I don't know about this movie. I really don't. I was looking forward to Kraven, and Kraven's like taking off they're just like, nope.
Yeah, they pushed that back. They're like, we have to wait for this. And so I'm like, see, that's what I mean. Like, every studio, that has any kind of a comic book thing is shaking in their boots because of what happened with the Marvels. So I'm just saying, everybody, times will be changing, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. Seriously, after Deadpool, we might see a complete overhaul of comic movies. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
And I'll what? I was
going to break.
Yeah, and we're going to break. See you in a minute.
Bye.
There's a comic book universe on the streets of Cleveland. Hero Tomorrow Comics is debuting
Violante, the Undead.
Get the new issue or the entire acclaimed library live on Kickstarter.
I'm coming for you, Cleveland.
Details at clevelandsuperhero.com.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you. Comic Collectibles is a pretty straightforward show. You got Rex here, he sells the comics, and you got Rocket Robbie, he knows about the comics. And finally, John, well, no one really knows what John does. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, but he just keeps showing up. Come to think of it, I don't even really know how he gets in here. Anyway, awesome comics, rare books, rarer signatures, slabbed books, and amazing cover sketches by Ken Hazer and others. Simple formula: you want the comics, you buy the comics. To sum up, Rex sells the comics, Robbie knows the comics, and John, who might possibly be a ghost. I mean, seriously, has anyone ever seen him show up or leave? Comic Collectibles with Rex and John, Mondays from 6 to 8 Eastern on The Experience. Comic Culture and Sales.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Comic Book Beardies presents the Geek Chat, or as I put it, the Beardy Geek Chat. I'm Rich.
I'm Desmond.
You look still fuzzy.
A little fuzzy.
A little fuzzy.
Okay, I'll have to try to work on that.
Okay. So you're watching us on The Experience. Be sure to like us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. Follow the Comic Book Beardies and the Geek Chat on Facebook, and then head to comicshoppingexperience.com and join the mailing list. So, speaking of Spider-Man, we are going to review the brand new Superior Spider-Man one-shot and the new #1. I know I was a huge fan of when Doc Ock took over. I know you were too.
No, I was not at first.
You were not. Oh.
I thought it was a gimmick, which I knew it was, and I was just like, no, thank you. And so I really was kind of a butt about it. And so I didn't really read it until after the fact. And then it was after the fact that when I read it, and I was like, damn, this was really good.
It was. It really was. So I don't have the one shot. I just have the #1 Scotty Young cover. Of course,
I got the same cover.
Because I love him. There is the one shot that came out about a month ago. And then that is the main cover for Superior #1. So Doc Ock is back. And if you've been reading The Amazing Spider-Man, you know that he's got some new tentacles. They obey his every little command.
They kind of remind me of the ones that were in the first the female Doc Ock had in the first Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with they're a little bit gel with metal on them. Mm-hmm. So I think the design looks really cool.
I do too. And we go back to when Doc Ock was in the body of Peter Parker. Yes, that's what I said. He was in the body of Peter Parker. He took over his mind for a short amount of time. And we find out he made a supervillain. Spoiler alert.
Who did the comic, Rich?
Oh, well. You're going to make me read.
Oh, yes. I'm going to make you read, sir.
All right. So, Dan Slott was the writer. Mark Bagley did the pencils for the Mistaken Identity Crisis. John Dell did the inks for Mistaken Identity Crisis. And Nathan Stockman was the artist on Negative Reinforcement. Edgar Delgado was the colorist. And VC's Joe Caramagna was the letterer. Yeah, I enjoyed both. And I enjoyed this issue even more because not only do we get Spider-Boy, we get yet another backup of Spider-Boy.
Okay, so Here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
I enjoy a new character just as much as anybody else, but I like Bailey, I like Spider Boy, but come on, like this is a lot of exposure for him, like a lot of exposure. So he's got his own book, he's in this book, he's got backup stories. Like, they're really, really pushing that little redheaded stepchild. Like, I get it. And I don't dislike him at all. I'm just like, this is a lot of him in a very short period of time. So, I thought the episode, I thought it was great. I liked, that we're seeing how Bailey interacted with Spider-Man or Superior Spider-Man, and now he doesn't remember what's going on, and the ending when Dr. Octopus realized what was going on, and realized that he had been Spider-Man because he had forgotten, all that was erased. I'm excited to see where this goes, because I'm like wondering, is Doc Ock going to reassume that role again? Is Doc Ock going to fight it out or duke it out? I just want to know I really want to know what it. How sometimes I don't like reintroducing new characters and blah blah blah. That's fine, but I'm like, okay, I want to know where this goes. I'm intrigued by the mystery that Dan Slott has put in here. I'm intrigued by it. I'm like, okay, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see where this is going. I like that the backup story was a one and done, which I'm assuming will have,
featuring the old Fantastic Four when it was, didn't Slott write this Fantastic Four?
No, that was Matt Fraction wrote that. That was the Future Foundation version.
Okay.
That was the Future Foundation version of the Fantastic Four when the Fantastic Four was off doing their own thing.
So Ant-Man, Medusa, She-Hulk, and then the lady thing.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, that's what that one was. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I really want to see more interactions or more side stories with Bailey and Spectacular Spider-Man, Superior Spider-Man. So I don't know. I'm even though I think he's getting a bit overexposed. I'm still here for it because Spider-Man is my favorite character. So I'll definitely stick in for it, and I really enjoyed Dan Slott. So
I gotta say, I really enjoy Bagley. Mark Bagley's art is always
a treat.
People don't like it because it's not flashy, but I'll tell you,
not supposed to be.
He knows how to draw.
Yeah, him and those older guys, John Romita Jr., those workhorses. Don't sleep on them. They're really good.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed both books. I thought, okay, good start. I like that a villain created a villain, and now the villain wants to kill the villain's enemy. I think that's really funny.
Yeah, but it was a misinterpretation because she didn't realize that it was
Doc Ock. It
was Doc Ock who did it. So yeah, it's see stuff like that, and then you saw what's her name? God, I can't remember her name. Doc Octopus's girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you saw her there, and I was like, that's really cool. So again, this is Dan Slott using the old stuff that he had during his run, and I like that he brings that stuff back, and he's true to his continuity. So
right. Speaking of workhorses, Return of Superman, the 30th anniversary special, brought back a whole bunch of old artists from the 90s. And I loved it. The story, on the other hand, was a little nah. We'll get into that. Are we done with Superior?
Yeah.
All right. This is a mouthful. I'm not going to read all of it, but I'll tell you the highlights. Dan Jurgens, Travis Moore, Louise Simonson, John Bogdanov. I've always loved his art. Jerry Ordway, Carl Kessel, Tom Grummett. Loved him. Dan Jurgens again with Brett Breeding. And then a whole bunch of inkers and colorists and everything. It's a huge book. La la la. $10 book. $10 book. As you saw, front and back. I read this today. Took me a while. And I thought, what was the purpose of this book?
To sell books.
What is
nostalgia?
This is like Loki in comic book form. What is the purpose of this book? This book I enjoyed.
Ooh, he had to take his glasses off, folks.
I enjoy John Bogdanov. Loved his art. A lot of people don't like his art. He's always drawn big, much like Larry Stroman, big exaggerated people. It was nice seeing Jerry Ordway. He is got to be in his 60s or 70s, still penciling, still going. Tom Grummett, I loved his work in DC. It was nice to see this, but Jesus, it was unnecessary for $10.
Yeah,
that's my review of the Return of Superman.
It was just kind of like, again, it's nostalgia hits hard for certain people, and that's good, and I hope that it sold a lot. But I was very much like, during the whole thing. So again, it served a purpose, and that purpose was to sell books and to sell nostalgia, and that's fine.
Yes,
that is totally fine. Yes. So no, we're not yucking your yum. It just doesn't. It didn't appeal to me either.
Right. So I remember going. I was living in Liverpool, in New York, and I was
like England. I was like,
no.
Wow.
I would go to Captain Comics. He's long closed now. And I remember going in the day that Superman died and getting my comic and going out to my car and reading it.
You opened it?
Huh?
You opened it?
Yes, I opened
it.
I remember the 4 Superman. I collected all those freaking covers. I remember this era very, very, very well. And I remember those artists on the books. This book, though, the way the new DC universe folds in on each other, they did it through flashbacks. And according to Lois, it was just a few years ago. I was like, it says 30 years, 30.
Well, comic book time.
I know comic book time is different. And the way DC has all their crises of every Earth.
You never know what time
you never know. But one of the things that bugged me in one of the stories, so they're done in flashbacks, and it's done through Perry White's memories of what he thought and what he wrote. And then they talk about K-pop, and I'm like, K-pop, if Clinton was president, because Clinton is in one of the photographs with Superman, what the hell is K-pop doing there? K-pop wasn't around. Like, this is where an editor needs to go. You need to an earlier reference.
An editor?
Because the editor that is reading the script or the books, do your job.
Nah, they're like, it's fine.
It's not fine. It made zero sense to the story. And yes, I'm nitpicking people, but when you read it and you're like, K-pop, I'm like...
Just takes you right out, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. The art, I really enjoyed the art. Stories were very... just meh.
I didn't enjoy the art either. I did need to go back. Sorry, I just didn't. It was great at the time in which it was done.
Yeah,
but I just did not need to go back. For me, this was not for me, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I made you buy it though. Sorry.
What are you gonna do? So
yeah, I'm glad it's a one shot. I'm glad I don't have to read it again. Okay, I got my armband out for the death. I'm good for another 3 years.
Shed a tear.
No tear was shed. Hey, I don't know if she's watching, but I want to say a happy birthday to my aunt.
Happy birthday,
yes.
Rich's aunt.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if she's watching. I don't know if anyone's watching, actually. Normally my dad watches too, so I'll say hi to him too.
I know Paul's watching. So
Paul is watching. Oh God, we're on such a great streak here with comic books. We did not have time to get this to the man behind the screen, so we'll just show you the covers. But Punisher.
Oh, we're going to Speed Force first.
Oh God. Okay.
You thought we were going to skip it?
No, you can talk about it. This book. So we ordered this book like 3 weeks ago. And I looked at the description and I went, this book is not for me. Don't like either character. Don't care about either character. This book, I don't think. Yeah, I'll hear. So, what did you think of? Who wrote it? Who drew it?
I will do it right now. I'll do it right now because it was written. It was written by Jared Williams. Artist was Jared Williams.
Okay.
Artist was Danielle Di Niculio. Color artist was Andrew Dalhouse. Letterer was Simon Boland. So the reason why I got this, number one, what was that?
You love the Flash.
Yes, I'm a Flash fan. So that's one of the reasons why I got it. But the second,
You're a Flash fanatic.
I'm a Flash fanatic, yes. The reason why I got it was because of Jarrett Williams. And the reason, I'll tell you why. Jarrett Williams is
your cat.
Sorry, she's that's Sophie. She's like, "Where is everybody?" And I'm like, "You can hear me." Anyway, so the reason why I liked it was because of Jarrett Williams, and he is a indie creator who created his own book called Super KO, and it was a wrestling comic that yes, your feline lord desires scratches human. Yes, I'm surprised she's not in here actually.
Wait, she's not in the room?
No, that's her outside.
She's that loud?
She's that loud. Yes.
Holy jeez.
She's not in the room. So he wrote a book called Super Pro KO, which was a wrestling book that he did for Oni Press, and it came out a couple years ago. And he self-published or had a comic called Lunar Baby, which was a comic that was done online. And then from that, he went on to do three large volumes of Super Pro KO, which was fantastic. It was just a great story. And so he is now writing for DC. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Let me check it out. So at first, the dialogue comes off a little stiff. And the reason why is because they are, for lack of a better word, talking in hip, colloquialisms and stuff like sup and this and that. And they're trying to find their voice with Wally West and with Avery Cho, because it's Wally West, Kid Flash, and Avery Cho, who was the Flash of China. And there is, of course, something going on with Star Labs. And, before it starts off, they're sitting, at Teen Towers, and they're playing a video game with Connor Kent, which is great. Good to see Connor Kent and interacting with other teens. But they're being teens, so they're like, we got to go to like this place and we got to listen to this rapper and blah, blah, blah. So it had a lot of teen dialogue in it.
I'm really glad I didn't pick it up.
But the thing is, it was a little stilted. Like that stuff was a little stilted. But once they got into like the meat of the comic, it actually is really good. Like it actually is really good. We get to see fan favorites of mine from the Teen Titans cartoon. Minos and Minos shows up as others.
God.
Fantastic other speedsters. And I'm like, okay, because what's happening is all these scientists from Star Labs around the world are missing, and they don't know why. Yeah. And they're trying to find out, and you find out that Minos and Minos were abducting them, but they don't know why what's going on. And it's oh, yeah. Hello, fellow teens, shall we? No, it wasn't that bad. Basically you find out at the end, and which I thought was really interesting and fantastic, was the Minos and Minos were beguiled and bewitched by the Music Meister.
Oh God.
Yes, see, they brought back an actual character that they're using in, like, they brought back the Music Meister, and I was like, what? And that right there just made my day. I liked his design. He's coming off.
What's he look like?
He kind of looks like Arcade a little bit. No.
No.
With the hat and everything.
No.
He's giving. He is. I love it. I love it with the big glasses and everything. But we don't know what they're doing. I thought the artwork in some places was fantastic because some artists have the ability to stretch and elongate the body to show movement, and this artist is able to do that. It's not stiff. But in some places it does not look good. It does not look good. Some of the faces are a little wonky, because some of the art style is a little too loose for my liking. But the running, yeah, stop hating on musicals, Rich. So, but aside from that, I thought it was a really good issue. I really hope that he's able to dial in their voices a little bit better for issue 2. But I'm definitely going to read issue 2.
So speaking of voices, if I did read that, which I'm glad I didn't, I would be reading the Music Meister in Neil Patrick Harris's voice.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It's like they brought back a character that ain't no one talking about.
Nope.
And made him fun. Like I really hope that he's able to make it fun. Oh, it's so good. I really enjoyed it. Like at first I was like, I don't know about this, with the writing. But once I got into it and I was able to hear the voice a little bit better, it all started to gel. So
all right. Well,
it's not bad.
What is the name of the book again, so people know?
Speed Force. It's so generic. It's horrible.
Oh my God.
That is so horrible. I was like, you were killing me with the name of this book.
So we got 5 minutes, and I think we can do this.
Yes, The Punisher.
So
why is this comic?
The Punisher. Oh my God, we did it again. So The Punisher came out. If you don't know, Frank Castle is no longer the Punisher. He became a weird demonic force and killed Ares and his.
That was something different. His wife came back.
His wife killed him. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, and then he's in Weird World right now, being a shepherd of lost souls or something. Yeah. I don't know.
So we needed a new Punisher, and we also needed Marvel to get rid of the skull design, which was co-opted. Whatever. So the writer was David Pepose. Artist is Dave Wachter. Color artist was Dan Brown. The letter is VC's Corey Pettit. And cover artist is Rod Race, but I bought the Scotty Young.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say that I have been a Punisher fan. My dad was a Punisher fan of the original series, like when it first started in the War Journal. And I did read that last Punisher series where he became weird and powerful and magic. So they came out with a new one. The idea is still his family was murdered. He is being blamed for the murder of his family. That's the switch of this new one.
He is a disavowed S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Yes, who buried bodies for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And now he's working with someone that was also with S.H.I.E.L.D.
AAA?
Who is, his...
chip. Microchip.
Which is his microchip.
Yeah, she is his microchip. The fact that they labeled him the Punisher, and he's not, just because his outfit has the 2 eyes and the thing, he doesn't claim that name.
Right.
He's like, why are they calling me that? Damn this battle armor. And I'm like,
why does it light up? Why? I mean, is it like Batman? You're walking towards the villains, and
it's supposed to be a place for them to shoot at, so they'll hit
it's body armor.
They'll hit the body armor. At least that's always been the big reason why Batman has the circle, the oval with the yellow. That was always the reason, and so that people would shoot him there.
Yeah,
and that'd be the body armor. But
I want to say it's interesting that they are bringing in villains from the Marvel Universe. And we talk about spoilers. Mr. Hyde is the first villain in this book, which I was like,
I was happy.
We're
That
going
was the one thing that
we're going full on super villain in the Punisher, which the Punisher book always stayed away from the big like bad.
Yeah.
And on the cover of the next issue is Nuke. And I was
Mr. Hyde, I was really kind of cool. And seeing Nuke, I was really kind of cool as well. I was like, okay, we're getting these sort of like C-list characters, but the writer's not creating anything new. And he actually went back and brought in mutant growth hormone.
Right.
What? And I was like, oh, wow, that's really kind of cool. So there were some aspects of the story that I liked, but overall, I was never really a Punisher fan. Like I never really got into the vigilantiness and all that other stuff. So it really wasn't my thing. Just with Frank Castle, and then certain aspects were cool, certain aspects weren't, but this one just fell flat. There's nothing separating him from the Punisher at all. So it kind of makes like the whole thing make no sense to me, unless this is just a clever ploy, for when they bring back the Punisher. So Frank Castle, I mean.
You think by like issue 8 he'll show up and be like, "Hey, stop taking my name," and put a bullet through his head?
No. I think he's gonna come back and be like, "Chill, man. Smoke some of this. It's okay. I've been in Weird World, man, and I have to say the mushrooms there are totally tubular." That's me, Frank Castle.
Totally tubular.
He's gonna have like super long hair and a parka, and he's gonna be like, "It's awesome, man.
Oh my god.
Just tone it down, man."
Well, I am interested. I am interested in Nuke. I loved Nuke whenever he faced Daredevil. So I will definitely be reading the next issue, which you won't be.
Oh,
again, I am very sorry I made you buy this.
I should make you buy Speed Force.
No.
I should make you buy.
I think it's out of print. I think they only printed like 32 copies, and that was for his family and friends.
You are a liar.
And no, I don't see that. But we are going to be taking a break right now. We're coming back with some X books.
Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds, a promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey. And behind every page, there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com today. Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
welcome back, everyone. You are watching the Beardy Geek Chat. I like that. I'm Rich.
I'm Desmond.
And you're watching us on The Experience. Be sure to like us out. I'm going to take my glasses off, not to read. I'm going to remember these. On YouTube, I got to do this. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. And head to comicshoppingexperience.com for everything experience. So before we get into our X books, Des read a book by John Ridley, right? Was that it?
By who?
The Ministry of Compliance?
Oh, thank you. When you said it by that, I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, Ministry of Compliance.
I did not read it. Don't even know what it was. Who and what publisher?
IDW.
Oh, okay.
So issue number 1, it is a according to Screen Rant, a bloody sci-fi epic.
Ooh.
And this is the original regular cover. And it is a chunky issue. It's $5.99, but it is like a double-sized issue, and it really gets into the meat of what the story is about. The writer was John Ridley. Artist was Stefano Raphael. Colorist was Brad Anderson, and letterer was Ariana Mayer. Now, imagine, if you will, a world. Okay, have you ever seen They Live by John Carpenter?
No.
Okay. So basically what's happening is aliens are running the show.
Oh.
In the US. And people do not know that the aliens are running the show. Well, some don't. And there is a intergalactic beings that are basically, they come to a planet, they infiltrate the planet from within, they set up these ministries in order to enact their diabolical plan to turn the populace into control of the populace, and then they start what's called the absorption or whatever, when they basically take over the world and absorb everybody into their alien collective.
Wow.
Right? And it usually takes about 10 years. They've been on Earth for over 30 years, and stuff has been going a little wonky about it. And so this woman right here is the head of the Ministry of Compliance. And the Ministry of Compliance is the one that makes sure that everything goes off without a hitch. Okay. And they can use lethal force in order to maintain order within the ministries. And there's one head of the whole ministry. He's the head of the ministries. And what happens is that person is removed from power. So it becomes this mad race in a vacuum to fill this power vacuum.
Yeah.
And what's great is there's all these different factions that are vying for power, and she is trying to keep everything together. And you have people that are biracial, who are half alien, half human. You have humans that know of the conspiracy, and you have backbiting ministers that are working, and she has to basically work through all of that to ensure that her people, aliens, are okay. Oh. And it is some of the coolest dialogue and the action. She has, her main weapon is a sword that she keeps in a little sheath, and it expands like it's almost like a TARDIS, and it expands and gets bigger and smaller as she needs it. And she's like a freaking samurai with this sword, and she's amazing. She is, I don't know, like I was reading it and I was like, damn, it's the writing is just top notch. It really came off like a television series. Like, I can honestly see this being a television show because of how everything is working together, and the corruption, and how the aliens were corrupted by the human influence and they're not supposed to be, and how does that happen, and what's going on. just lots of twists and turns, all within the first issue. This seriously, if you want to start and I know it's going to get even better because they're aliens, but they haven't really done a lot of alien stuff except for this sword that she has. So it's grounded in quote unquote reality in their power sets and what they can do. So I'm really interested to see where this goes. I swear, $5.99, great pickup.
IDW.
It is really worth it. I would not be surprised if it gets optioned for a television series or something.
He's not Mark Millar.
Really no. And then the last thing that I read that I wanted to talk about was this cute little Frankie's Comics graphic novel. And what it is, it's a collection of comics by Rachel Dukes. So I met Rachel Dukes years ago at a comic book convention. And she's been doing this for a very long time. She's a great comic book artist and writer. And it's a collection of basically stories about her and her cat and her partner. And they're little ones and dones. But it's just some of if you are a cat owner and a cat lover, you're going to love this book just because of how many things she captures in this book that make there's certain experiences that only cat lovers can get and can understand, but this is definitely one of them. It's from Oni Press. It just came out. It's $12.99. It's a great read, and I think that Rachel deserves all of the kudos for what she's been doing. Just a really fantastic person.
Persian.
Well, her cat's a tuxedo cat. It's not a Persian cat.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that. I will definitely check out the Ministry of Compliance.
Please do, because I really want to hear what you have to say about it. Yeah. You know, granted, it's not your traditional superhero stuff, but it's the sci-fi-ness of it is just sci-fi enough where you feel like, oh, this is interesting stuff, and there's just so many seeds planted in it. Just so many seeds. It's really good.
Yeah. So, Uncanny Avengers. We found out who Captain Krakoa is, and I'm wearing a hint.
Were we right?
Were right.
Were we right?
You were right.
Were we right?
Yes. So the cover shows the Avengers now. Orcus is trying to make their play, and we get the reveal of Hydra Cap is Captain Krakoa, brought back to life by Sinister and MODOK. One of the Sinisters.
Yeah, he's a clone.
One of them, yeah.
He's a clone.
It really was good because it almost was like a checkmate, because Orcus is trying to, of course, take down the mutants, and Cap really in last issue made humans a little sympathetic to the mutants going on. And in this one, we get the takedown of the Brotherhood finally. Your favorite twins lost their hands.
So
Psylocke just chopped them off because, they have to touch in order for their powers to work. And Psylocke's like, yeah, I'm taking this out.
Yeah, I want cybernetic hands that increase their power now.
Oh, listen to you.
Long live those racists.
Blob realizes he's on the wrong side,
which I'm happy for. I'm happy for, because I've always thought Blob was one of those characters that deserved better.
Yeah. This issue does not shy from blood. When Psylocke cuts their hands off, Deadpool gets taken out by Cap's shield and loses half his body. They're going for it. There's one issue left, but the nice thing is Cap takes down Captain Krakoa, and you get the last page reveal, and then Cap gets taken out by Captain Krakoa. So
this is a miniseries?
Yeah, one issue. So Marvel's new publishing is
that's interesting.
Miniseries. That's all they're basically doing. Children of the Vault ended. That book was useless.
Yeah.
Dark X-Men has one issue left. We're going to find out We found out the Goblin Queen has taken over the Limbo Embassy.
Yeah.
And Alpha Flight, we learned that Heather is dying from the sword. They're either doing 4-issue or 5-issue miniseries, because in January we start the fall of the House and Powers and all that.
And then we get the line reboot. So.
The line reboot, yeah. One of the books that came out this week that I've actually really enjoyed is the Jean Grey. So we had the Children of the Vault was a side thing that they did, and Iceman. But I feel Jean Grey, because it's been connected to the main books, Immortal and Red. I feel like this last page, this is over as well. This was just a 4-issue miniseries. Jean and the Phoenix, little baby Phoenix, finally have come together. And I honestly think she is going to have something to do with something. I mean, this whole issue, normally I'm one for no backgrounds. I hate when artists don't draw backgrounds. It's laziness. But because she's in the white hot room, I kind of gave it a pass. But there's a lot of whiteness. A lot of whiteness.
Yeah, she's in the white hot room. I totally understood it. You know, when I read it, and I was like, okay. I mean, okay. Again, Jean is coming to grips with her choices of becoming the Phoenix. Okay.
Of everything. Of every choice she's ever made.
So the one thing that I hope for is she is part of the whole relaunching of the X-Men. I hope that she does something, you know, in order to help facilitate or push that forward, because I'm sorry, that whole 4 issues was a big nothing burger for me.
I agree, except the last issue, I think really it could have been a one-shot. This issue alone could have been the Jean Grey one-shot. It was not needed to see her go through the different worlds and how she did things. We've done that in the last 60 years. We've experienced Jean's bad decisions.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a good walk through memory lane, you know, or what could have happened and stuff like that. But a lot of it was culminated in this one issue. And I was like, you know, it was weird. It was like it literally went over what happened in the last 3 issues, and I was like, okay, so
this could have been it.
Yeah, but to be completely honest with you, Rich, I love Phoenix Jean. You know, I love Phoenix Jean. I really like her being that powerful and having to hold it back and keep it, you know, safe and stuff like that. I honestly like that aspect of Jean. And so when she gets the Phoenix, I'm super excited by it. But the problem is every time she has the Phoenix, nothing happens, or she gets nerfed, or nothing. There's no resolution of it. So I really hope that if anything comes from this is the fact that her and Phoenix actually become one.
Yeah.
And we get another long-term Jean Grey as Phoenix moment. That's what I really want, because they always downplay her. Yeah. Like the only thing to do it worse was that damn 90s cartoon that or I'm dying, I can't do it. I'm just like, girls, please stop it.
I hope the new relaunch of 97, all the women are not constantly fighting, fighting. They're not fainting. They're not falling. They don't need a help, because every single one of them, Rogue, all of them needed some help. So I just want to say Jean Grey was written by Louise Simonson. Bernard Chang was the artist. I love his art. He did a great job on this. Marcelo Maiolo was the color artist. VC's Ariana Mahar was the letter, and Jay Bowen did the design. I stick by it. I think she's gonna be something. We did not need 4 issues. Well, this issue would have been perfect. With maybe you could have charged an extra $1 and gave us a couple more pages.
Yeah. But if it had been an annual, If it had been an annual or double sized,
double sized, yeah. We follow this next in Immortal X-Men 17.
Which I'm actually excited for.
I'm excited interesting. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how through the White Hot Room, she gave Hope a little bit of the Phoenix power to defeat Apocalypse, and I want to see the other side of that, and I think we will in the next Immortal, which comes out according to their schedule. Immortal doesn't come out until November 22nd, so it should be next week.
Next Wednesday
should be.
So we'll give you an update on if it really kind of played out really well, or maybe that's when she's gonna make her triumphant return, because wherever they are, she's gonna pop out of an egg or something. I don't know.
I do like how they referenced her death. How she's always dying. Like we've seen it time after time.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, like Cyndi Lauper, she's coming back.
So we're going to talk about Gods too, but
what did you think about it?
Flip what was out that? Of me. I said that book bored the flip out of me. You did not like it.
No. I enjoyed it,
but
I enjoyed it in the fact that it is Jonathan Hickman laying groundwork. Oh yeah, we might not have a next show because of Thanksgiving, but we'll let you know. So
we'll let you know.
We'll let you know. So God's number 2. I got the basic version, and it was bought the basic because I'm basic. The Jonathan Hickman was the writer. Valerio Chitti is the artist. Mariette Garcia is the color artist. And VC's Travis Lanham is the letterer. So, which was very interesting because in this one little thing right here, he literally just summed up what happened in the first comic book. And I kept thinking, well, if we could just read those little blips, do we need to see anything else? Just kidding. So basically, we just get more information about the 2 new factions, the powers that be, and the natural order of things. And it seems like, given what is said in this book, the powers that be are the people who are about magic, and the powers that be are about magic users. And the natural order of things is looking with magic users, but through science. If that's how it is, I think that's what it is. And so that's how the natural order of things. Is about science, looking through magic as a scientific thing, and then the other one, the powers that be, are magic users as magic as a natural function of life.
Yeah, what this book reminds me of.
What?
Loki. A bunch of hooey I don't give a flick about.
Well, the reason why you don't give a flick about it, number 1, is because there's not anybody that you really give a damn about. There's only Stephen Strange, really. And you see Brother Voodoo for and Thea and them for half a minute before they bounce out. And Doctor Strange gives some lame excuses like, we're magic users, we don't have friends. And I'm like, that's bullshit.
I know, you have tons of friends.
It's like, that's dumb. But basically all it really is telling us, setting up what the new status quo is going to be. And it looks like either one of these forces is a part of chaos and order, because Lord Chaos and Master Order were referenced in this book, and the in-betweener who is their emissary.
Yeah, they keep showing the in-betweener's new design.
And that's what I liked. I was like, okay, now you're starting to tie it to the cosmic beings that are already established in Marvel. Stop making stuff up. Use what we have. Tie it back to existing continuity. We don't need all this extra stuff. So if you're going to tell me that there's these 2 new factions, where are they? What do they do?
Right.
and this kind of vagueness that he's putting in here is kind of annoying. And then this whole episode, this whole issue was to introduce this new character, and I have no
Uh-huh.
idea. All I know is that she's a magic user, and that this other woman, Akeo, wants to watch her learn and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, you're not going to help her. You're going to help her, but she's going to have to do her own stuff and live and learn and whatever. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I get that, but
I no.
it needs to move. It needs to move, and there's like a lot of setting up going on. And while I enjoy this thing where he's trying to do, it still feels very underwhelming.
Well, I
You get
think
what I'm
it's
trying to
Hickman
say?
being It's Hickman being Hickman, and unfortunately, this time around, so he had me with his Fantastic Four, and he had me with his X-Men, but
Because those are
this
people you cared about.
this concept and these people, I tried. I'll be real honest. I sat down last week because we got the book last week, and I made it like 3 or 4 pages, and I was like, I do not care. I just flipped through to look at the pretty pictures because I love the artist. I will say it is a pretty book. Valerio, is that his first name?
Yeah.
Yeah, great artist, amazing
Yeah.
artist. And I think
Fantastic.
his talents are being wasted on this book, but
I think the reason why it worked before was because it was within characters that we cared about. There are no characters in here that I care about because it keeps introducing these new people. And
Right.
Doctor Strange, Clea, all these other people that are supposed to be heavy hitters are delegated or relegated to the
to
background.
the back.
Or
Yeah.
and I'm like, why? I don't need to know about Win or this other assistant that he's going on with. I don't know. I feel that that's one thing that Hickman is just not doing, and maybe he doesn't want to repeat himself, possibly like what he did with Avengers and all that stuff. But I think the reason why Avengers worked is because he was using characters that we cared about.
He also
Characters
introduced new characters as
Within
foils for within it. Yes. So we got the Black Order,
Oh yeah,
and we got
fantastic.
all those people and
Ex
the
Nihilo,
Gardener,
all those people. The changing
And
of the Beyonders.
because he kept it within the realm of well-known people that we recognize.
We give a crap about.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with gods. Coog really, the next issue had someone, so he's getting it.
Another new character.
Another new character.
And I'm like, really?
So for me, I'm just like, gods, I will peek in. I'll still flip through it to see.
I'll read it.
But I have other things that I'm really excited to read. And I just want to say real
Like
quick.
Speed Force.
Oh, yes. I do want to say that the brand new G.I. Joe issue 301 came out. It is an extension of the Larry Hama written G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. And it went from IDW to Skybound Press Image. And they allowed him to continue his story. A new artist. The new artist really made the pages
Sing.
The old artist was good. It was very solid, serviceable art, and you recognize the characters. This new artist it's a little more artsy. The pages, I can't describe the feeling because I read 100 of those other issues at IDW, but now at Skybound, this is set within the old universe. This isn't part of the new Energon universe. And they've got one of the Kuberts doing the covers. So the book, I feel, has gone, I don't want to say up in quality, but it's gone up in quality. This new artist is really hitting it. The one thing I will say, and this is a huge spoiler, I don't understand why Serpentor Khan decided to turn everyone into zombies. That took me out of the book a little.
Why not? Zombies are hip.
I know,
Zombies
but
are cool.
Dr. Mindbender and the Serpentor Khan are now zombies. And they even have the line, something like, I want to eat human flesh. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird direction. I'm really excited for the brand new Energon G.I. Joe. We're getting Duke, Cobra Commander, before the actual book hits. The Transformers book has been real
Was CoverGirl
solid.
in it?
CoverGirl was in it. Yep.
Yay. I always like CoverGirl.
I don't know about the new series. The Real
I always
American
liked her,
Hero,
her jumpsuit. She had the weird like tan jumpsuit, like the one piece. I always thought her look was really cool.
I always liked Lady J.
Yeah, Lady J was cool too. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah.
Yes, she was very easy, breezy, and beautiful.
And she's still beautiful. So I loved all of the women, of course, but Zartan still remains my favorite of all the G.I. Joers.
Because he's from the South.
That's no. Yes, you know I'm not from the South. I am from the North.
Sure. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I hope we entertained you.
I hope so.
Let us know.
We don't know if there's going to be a show. Keep your eyes on the Experience pages because we will have a sit down. Next week is Thanksgiving. He will be visiting family.
It really comes down to the powers that be, because if they are celebrating Thanksgiving, then we should celebrate Thanksgiving too.
Yeah.
So someone will definitely let you know if we're going to have a show next week or not.
Right.
But either way, we really enjoy you staying with us and taking the time to listen to what is it?
Us.
Taters and gravy.
Oh.
Taters and gravy. Give our 1-2s about comic books. So and movies and stuff.
Yep.
So,
thank you everyone for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
Want to give a little closing to our sponsors and everybody?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Next up on The Experience at 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I don't know what time it is. Sketch Up with Mog and Mel is next, and they are featuring Justin Hunt and his War Angels campaign on, I believe, Kickstarter. So stay tuned for that. 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. I will get it right one of these days. Honest. Probably not. All right. Good seeing you, Des.
Good seeing you too, Rich.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.